Hey guys, this is lesson 6.4, probability for pre-algebra. So probability, there are three main key terms that you need to copy down in your notes. So first, copy down outcomes. Outcomes are the possible results of an action. So like in a basketball game, the outcomes are you either win, you tie, or you lose. So those are the outcomes. There are 6 outcomes for rolling a number cube or a dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. So an event is any outcome or group of outcomes. So the event is what actually happens. So if you roll a dice and get a 5, that's the event. If I roll the dice and get a 6, that's my event. And then lastly is probability. You want to copy down this equation. So the probability of an event, so let's say the probability of rolling a 3 on a dice would be the number of favorable outcomes, the number of times it can happen, 1, out of the number of possible times that it could happen, 6. So if I take a dice and I roll it, I can only get a 3 one time because there's only one 3 on there out of 6 choices. All right, so what's the probability of rolling an even number? So whenever you see this P, that means probability. So you're going to see a capital P, and then inside the parentheses is what they're looking for. Rolling an even number. So on with one number cube. So here is the answer. The number of favorable outcomes is 3 because I could get a 2, I could get a 4, or I could get a 6. And then the possible outcomes are 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So my probability of rolling an even number is 1/2. Remember, you need to simplify always. So try A, B, and C, and then we will go over them. Find each probability for one roll of a number cube. So the probability of an odd number would be rolling a 1, a 3, or a 5. So that would be 3 out of a 6 total, which is 1/2. The probability of rolling a 2 is there's only 1 2, so it would be 1 out of 6 total. So it would be 1/6. And then the probability of a 5 or a 6, that is, I could get 2 different outcomes. So I would have 2 out of 6, which equals 1/3. So the key thing to remember about probabilities is that all probabilities range from 0 to 1. So if you notice, all of my answers are going to be between 0 and 1. And probability is out of the total. If you notice, the total is always on the bottom. So you're always going to have out of a total on the bottom. So here's one last example. In the United States, the probability that a child is a twin is 2 in 90, or 2 over 90. Find the probability of not a twin. So here's a key thing. If I have the probability of a twin plus the probability of not a twin, I will get 1 because there's no other option. So the probability of being a twin plus the probability of not being a twin always equals 1. So if the probability of getting a twin is 2 out of 90, the probability of not a twin is going to be 88 out of 90. It would be every other pregnancy or every other birth. Triplets, quadruplets, all those are not a twin, or a single birth is 88 out of 90. And then you have to simplify that. So 88 out of 90, I can cut them in half and get 44 out of 45. All right, so the other thing we're going to talk about is odds. Now, odds is what they use in Vegas. If you've ever heard what's the odds of winning or the odds in favor. Probability is out of a total. Okay, so if you think of it this way, probability right here is part to whole. So it was a part of the dice to the whole amount of the dice. So odds are the likelihood of an event. It's a part-to-part ratio. So copy these two equations down. The odds in favor of an event are the number of favorable outcomes divided by the number of unfavorable outcomes. And then the odds against an event are the number of unfavorable outcomes divided by the number of favorable outcomes. So copy that down. Okay, so the reverse sides of 5 quarters are shown below. If you select one of these quarters at random, what are the odds in favor of it showing at least one human figure? Okay, so odds means I want part to part. Part over part. And they want in favor of it showing at least one human figure. So what that means is I'm going to take all the quarters with human figures on the front of it divided by the ones with no human figure. It's not going to be out of 5 because I don't do it out of the whole. That would be probability. Odds is like 3 to 2 or 2 to 3. So if I look at the ones that have a human figure, would be Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey. So that would be 3. And then the ones that don't are Georgia and Connecticut. So that would be 2. So it would be 3 out of 2. It would not be 3 out of 5. That's probability. This is odds. So that's the huge difference. You're putting a part over a part. So 3 out of 2. So when you add these together, you should get the total number of quarters. 3 plus 2 is 5. So you choose a quarter at random from the 5 above. What are the odds in favor of it showing a horse? What are the odds against it showing a horse? So try this problem, and then we'll go over it. Okay, so the odds in favor of it showing a horse means in favor goes on top. So that would be 1 to 4. 1 to 4 ratio or odds. 1 has a horse, 4 do not have a horse. What are the odds against it showing a horse? You would do the opposite. You'd put the odds against it on top over 1, so it would be 4 to 1. All right, that is it for your notes for 6.4.